Yesterday, I was lying on my floor, staring at the ceiling, doing absolutely nothing. And one of those shower thoughts just hit me. What if I couldn't die? I'm not talking about staying young forever, or living to a ripe old age. I mean the hard, cold, absolute impossibility of death. Total, glitch in the matrix immortality. I started playing it out in my head. And honestly, it got dark, fast. It's that specific brand of dread you get when you finish a 500-page philosophy book and realize you understand less about humanity and yourself than when you started. So, pull up a chair. Let's run the most terrifying thought experiment you'll hear today. I promise it'll make you look at your morning coffee and your entire life very differently. Let's go. Day 1. Humanity throws the biggest party in history. The news breaks on a Monday morning, which, honestly, tracks. Monday is usually where dreams go to die anyway, so it's the perfect day for death to finally clock out for good. Reports flood the feed. 0 fatalities. Car wreck? You're banged up, maybe in a cast, but you're breathing. Terminal illness? The pain is there, but the end isn't. You jump off a skyscraper? You hit the pavement, shatter every bone in your body, and then you just sit back up. The world celebrates like we just won the ultimate Super Bowl. And why wouldn't we? The one thing that's hunted us since we first crawled out of caves is just gone, deleted. The greatest human achievement since sliced bread, or air conditioning. I'd be popping champagne. You would too. But the hangover is coming, and this one is going to last forever. 6 months in, the cracks start to show. Have you ever wondered why people put up with soul-crushing jobs, toxic bosses, miserable marriages? It's because there's always an unspoken exit strategy. Life is finite. Everything ends, even the suffering. But now, that exit is padlocked, permanently. Imagine a Monday morning meeting. It's always Monday, listening to your manager explain synergy through a PowerPoint filled with clip art sunrises and italicized Steve Jobs quotes. Before, you could endure it. Because you knew, someday, I'll retire. Someday, this will be over. Now, that boss is staying there, forever. And so are you. It's like being stuck at the DMV. You're annoyed, you're late, but you stay because you know in 20 minutes you'll get your license and walk out. Now imagine that line never moves. Not because they're slow, but because people keep joining the back and nobody ever leaves the front. Quit your job? Sure. But what exactly are you doing with the next 800 years? This is the part people skip over. The claustrophobia. We're still having babies. Biological urges don't just clock out because death did. 8 billion people keep reproducing, but the global death counter stays at a hard 0. 20 years, the population doubles. 40 years, it quadruples. 100 years in, there isn't a word in the English language for that number anymore. The Earth is big, sure. But arable land, the stuff that actually keeps us fed, is a fixed asset. It doesn't stretch just because we decided to stop dying. The question is no longer to be or not to be. The question is, where do we put everyone? What do we eat? What do we breathe? Picture rush hour in the New York subway. Now multiply it. Keep multiplying. Then erase the concept of rush hour entirely because every hour is peak hour. Forever. Still feeling good about that gift of life? This is where I get stuck the longest. Human history is fundamentally a story of turnover. The old guard holds power. They age, they die, and the new generation takes the wheel. It's a messy, painful cycle, but it's how we progress. Remove death, and you break the cycle. The people in power today, they'll still be there in the year 3000, still making the rules. 5 centuries of accumulated wealth, influence, and gatekeeping. A network so thick, no outsider could ever hope to break through. Think about your own family. The respect your elders dynamic is manageable when it's 3 generations at Thanksgiving. But what happens when there are 15 generations at the table? Who listens to whom? Who gets to grow up when the adults never leave the room? It stops being a society. It becomes a museum that's run out of storage space. And this is the part that actually makes me sad. Art, music, poetry. Everything we find beautiful is rooted in the fact that we are temporary. We feel things intensely because we know they're fleeting. Autumn is gorgeous because the leaves are dying. We love fiercely because we're terrified of running out of time. A song breaks your heart because you know the person who wrote it was walking the same road you are, just a few steps ahead. Death isn't just the enemy, it's our harshest teacher, the one that taught us how to care. Hemingway wrote about death to feel alive, Tolstoy was haunted by it. Every great writer who ever stopped you cold in the middle of a Tuesday, they were all working with the same raw material, the knowledge that this moment and every moment is burning off. What does an immortal world make art about? What is there left to feel? What's important when you have an infinite supply of it? I don't have that answer, but I suspect it would be a very, very boring world, even if no one ever cried at a funeral again. So, what's the point? Some will argue the other side that with infinite time, we'd solve everything. Poverty, space travel, the secrets of the universe. That's the transhumanist dream, and it's a beautiful one. But here's where I land. Death is the frame around the painting. Without the frame, it's just paint splattered on an infinite wall. The frame is what makes it art. The grit you feel when a deadline is real. The love that hits different because you know you won't have them forever. The way you hold on to a moment because you know it will never happen exactly like this again. We think that by removing the limit, we gain freedom. But what we actually lose is the only compass that tells us which direction matters. There's an old perspective you've probably heard, some version of it, that we're just passing through, just visiting. And because we're just passing through, we shouldn't just pass the time. You appreciate your morning coffee because tomorrow isn't a guarantee. You appreciate a home-cooked meal because the table won't always be full. You appreciate the person sitting next to you because they won't always be there. And you appreciate this moment right now, watching this, turning these ideas over in your head because it's slipping away second by second, and it will never come back exactly like this. You don't need to live in fear of the end, but remembering it's there, turns out that's not the worst thing. So the next time Monday rolls around and your boss fires up that PowerPoint and you'd rather disappear into the floor, don't wish for forever. Just think about what you want to do with the temporary you actually have. As for me, I'm going to go lie back down on this floor and keep thinking up nonsense for a few more hours. Do me a favor and hit subscribe. I'm actually begging you.